Good afternoon.
Hello. Today we will be talking to you about two most famous artists to ever live on Earth. Giles, would you please mind telling them their names?
Their names Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. They're both very famous around the 15th, 16th century.
Now, you probably heard their names, but they're familiar, but you don't know where they are from and who they were. Well, let me just give you some words that you might be familiar with. Mona Lisa, the movie Da Vinci's Code, and also
Two paintings we're going to talk about
will be The Last Supper, and as you know, the Sistine Chapel. It's a massive chapel, but we are going to take a fragment out of it, the Son of God, Adam, and we're going to analyze it today, how spiritual it is. At a distance of some 500 years, the breathtaking ceiling of Michelangelo still dominates this splendid church and much of the art world. But today, we will be talking about one of the most famous parts of it. It is called the Son of Adam. As you can see on the screen now, we are giving you an overview of the whole chapel. But you will be amazed as soon as you see this masterpiece. The creation of Adam is arguably the most famous section of Michelangelo's fresco Sistine Chapel that was painted in 1511 to 1512. It is traditionally thought to illustrate the biblical creation narrative from the book of Genesis, in which God breathes life into Adam, the first man. Chronologically, the fourth in the series of panels depicting episodes from Genesis on the Sistine Chapel. It was one of the last to be completed. It is the most well-known of the Sistine Chapel fresco panels, and its fame as a piece of art is rivaled only by Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. The image of the near-touching hands of God and Adam has become one of the single most iconic images of humanity. With Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, which we will talk later, the creation of Adam and the other Sistine Chapel panels are the most replicated religious paintings of all time. We think that this is very spiritual art because it represents such a religious thing, the first man on earth.
The Last Supper is a late 15th century painting painted by the famous Leonardo da Vinci. This painting is Leonardo's visual interpretation of the event chronicled in all four of the Gospels. The evening before Christ was betrayed by one of his disciples, he gathered them together to eat and tell them he knew what was coming and to wash their feet, which is a gesture symbolizing they are all equal under the eyes of the Lord. This painting relates to one of the biggest events in the Christian service, the Eucharist, where you eat and drink the body and blood of Christ. This is the meal where Jesus first started the Christian faith. I think it's spiritual because God wrote the Bible in words and Da Vinci painted the fragment of the Bible then through his imagination of what happened. I really like this painting by Da Vinci because he's got every detail right.
I think what Giles and I are trying to say is that
It's a clearly remarkable piece of art, and there is no way that you'll ever be able to match such an amazing piece in structure.